Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Throwing Partners. I am with my throwing partner, Chris Collins. Chris, we are about 2 weeks removed for our last episode. How are you doing?
I am chilling. I'm back in school for the summer session, but it's not as rigorous. So, rigorous. Look it up in the dictionary. It's a great word to describe of a challenge, basically. But speaking of rigorous, we got a lot of rigorous things to talk about in the sports world. But before we do that, I am doing great. How about you, sir?
Doing well. Trying to stay cool. It's heating up now in Southern California and the entire country because summer is in full swing. So, yeah, it's hot.
It's hot. It's always hot.
It's good.
Well, at least, Southern California brings the consistency of weather.
Yeah.
But when it does get hot, it gets hot.
But, you spent a few years in our hometown of, I won't say the name, but it was really hot there, so we're used to it.
You could fry an egg outside.
Yeah, throw it on the sidewalk, fry an egg. So it's a dry heat. I bet I'd rather have dry than humid. So
yeah,
I'll say that. But let's get started. What do we have to talk about?
I want to start with something we didn't talk about last time, and it already happened, but let's talk about Julio Jones to Tennessee really quick. Basically, Julio Jones, basically compared to Megatron, basically, if in all sense. He's one of the greatest wide receivers in today's game. He is a little injury prone lately, but we all know and see what he does when he's healthy. Tennessee, I think, got a great steal. They only had to give up a second round and a fourth round pick. Not even a first round pick. A second and a fourth round pick to get one of the best wide receivers in the game. This looks like the same thing that Arizona did to get DeAndre Hopkins. And Texans got nothing out of it. So it's like, I feel like teams are like, I don't know what front offices are doing in the NFL right now for like star players. Like they just want to get rid of them. But I'm sorry, Atlanta. You took the L on that trade. Hardcore, just as Houston did with DeAndre Hopkins. It's literally DeAndre Hopkins squared of how the trade went.
Yeah, it happened again.
And Atlanta knows they are in rebuild mode. Matt Ryan is old. I'm sorry. He's not what he is.
I'm surprised he's still there.
But the thing is, it's like Atlanta knew this was coming eventually. They knew after the Super Bowl and that season afterwards where it was just a complete failure, they knew this was coming, but they didn't prepare for it. And I will say Atlanta's defense is good. Their defense is good. When they're healthy, they're good.
Yeah.
But it's that offense where Julio Jones was really the only one doing anything. And you just let him go for a second and fourth round pick.
Yeah.
That's a big L in my front office standing there.
Yeah, it's going to be I know Jacob the Rev's probably listening to this episode when it comes out, but I think it's going to be a tough few years for Atlanta in the future. I think once Matt Ryan's done or traded or gone, gets out of the league, that team is going
Most
down.
Definitely.
Yeah,
I will say this though. Let's talk about the good side of the trade. Tennessee just got a whole lot better.
They got Julio Jones, yeah. And
so they already had Davis
Tannehill.
And everything. Like they already had a plethora of receivers, and they have the best running back in the NFL already. And they have a good defense. So it's like, they just got one of the best wide receivers in the game. Now do you say this is the locking mechanism for Tennessee to punch their ticket into the Super Bowl? They've been close.
And that, I think they get closer to being Super Bowl favorites. But I mean, the AFC South is pretty competitive, and I think, the Colts are going to be there with that defense. I can't say the same about their offense, but they might be a good team that can hold down the Titans. But at this point, Tennessee's the favorite in the AFC South, and I think they still got a red-hot Bills team to deal with in the playoffs, because I don't see the Bills leaving. And the Patriots geared up.
Patriots geared
So
up.
I know,
That's gonna be interesting.
yeah. So those matchups are going to be pretty tough, and who knows if like Tannehill has what it takes to bring them to that next level. He's a very different quarterback than Matt Ryan is.
Very, very, very true. I will say this though, with New England revamping everything and hopefully flipping that team to now back to where they were, it's going to be interesting because since the Bills and the Pats are in the same division, right? There's only one division winner. And looking at it, if one of those teams finishes as the best team in the record in the AFC, they may or may not play each other in the first round.
Yeah.
So if you're looking at it like that, I would say this: if Tennessee is smart, they either, you have to get the best record or you have to get the second best record, just so you can play to your advantage to get further in, and you're screwing over hotter teams. Let's say like New England gets hot or Buffalo gets hot, and they have to play that.
Or Cleveland gets hot.
Or Cleveland gets hot. They have to play that dark horse team, because we all saw what happened with Pittsburgh playing Cleveland in the first round, and Cleveland just whoop, bye.
Whoop.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting. And this is all from the AFC. I say right now, the AFC and the NFC, it used to be it's either AFC is way better or NFC is way better. It's never been equally matched, but I feel like this year it very much is.
Yeah. It's perfectly balanced, as all things should be.
I will say this though, and you can debate this, but I think the AFC North is probably the toughest division to be in besides the NFC West.
Yeah, I agree.
I think the AFC North, all those teams, even the Bengals, have a shot. Because we all saw what Joe Burrow did when healthy, and the losses he got were within like almost just one possession.
Yeah, there are a few pieces away from really competing.
Exactly. And I'm just like, okay. And they're doing that in one of the toughest divisions.
Yes.
And now Cleveland's getting better, right? So I think, and it's scary to say this, but I mean, I never really see it happen though, but Pittsburgh might be, and my roommate, she might not like me saying this, but Pittsburgh, needs to start looking at, they got a great draft pick with the running back, but they need to start looking at that quarterback replacement, because Big Ben is behind the power curve a little bit now. So we'll see how that goes for Pittsburgh. But all in all those teams, Baltimore, everybody in that division, playoff bound. They easily can be playoff potential.
Yeah. It's crazy to think, because in my lifetime, the Steelers have always been good.
They've ever since Mike Tomlin's been there, it's been playoff.
So seeing Big Ben on the tail end of his Hall of Fame career, and then having this transition going into not a rebuild, but more of we need to find our identity again and like build up from our past seasons, like our past players and the legacy they left.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be a little bit of a rough transition for them.
I definitely think
so. It will be weird seeing the Steelers not be the Steelers. But who knows? Everything can change. Big Ben can finish out on top and maybe take them to the next level. We'll see what happens.
He definitely can. I mean, we've seen it before. He can do it.
Yeah.
But who knows? Every year is different. But since we're on the NFL topic, a very interesting topic, not really heard in the NFL. The Raiders defensive end, Carl Nassib, if I'm pronouncing his last name correctly, comes out as openly gay. And then donates $100,000 to a foundation for suicide for like the gay community and stuff like that. Which is really cool and really good for the sport to show diversity and acceptance in all fields of love and everything like that, and sexual orientation and all this stuff. So I think it's good for him that he's doing that, and it's sad to say, I'm gonna say it too, he's gonna get a lot of backlash. It happens with any any athlete or actor, superstar basically, and then having that, there's gonna be those ignorant and nasty people. But I think he's gonna be a good voice for that community, and letting maybe a younger community or even athletes that are who may be like closed off, but they are
Yeah.
like, gay in their sexuality, and
Yeah.
they just haven't come out yet. And maybe that's a little push for them to help out
Yeah,
to
I
come
think
out there.
I agree. Like, I think it's very good for not just football, but for Carl himself that he was now comfortable enough in the sport he plays to actually open up and be who he is
Mm-hmm.
and not hide who he is.
Yeah.
And it shows the more human side of athletes, because people forget that those guys on the field in all those sports are like, they're people.
Yeah, they're not robots.
Like, they're not robots. Like, they have all the same, like, things that we go through, and just things that the people in the world are like, that's their lifestyle, and they're the same way. And it's really good to have that representation in the game, so future athletes that are feeling that way can express themselves and feel comfortable going into that sport and be like, I'm okay with being gay and playing in football or baseball or basketball. Like, we saw it a few years ago with Michael Sam, who played for the St. Louis Rams, and he got drafted out of college. I think it would have been a lot different if that happened, like it happened with Carl Nassib. But I think that was just a few years too early for people to really think about it. Like,
the story I feel like got shut down too really quick.
Yeah.
Like, it was like a week of hype around it, and then it just kind of went away. But I do agree with you that if it did happen nowadays, like how Carl's doing his now, I think it will have more impact and more emphasis.
Which is crazy, because that wasn't even 10 years ago.
No, it was like, I think
so not even weird.
I think it was like 5 max.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like, what can happen in a couple years span of just how people can accept certain lifestyles. And
exactly,
it shows that we're making progress, and that the NFL is making progress in sports in general.
And there will always be
progress.
There will always be the really selfish and ignorant people and everything like that. And if you're raised like that, it sucks. And hopefully you can not change. I'm not going to tell a person to change, but accept that there's differences. That's the thing, is accepting one's opinion and, supporting that opinion, but not downgrading it. So
let people be who they want to be.
Yeah, exactly.
And it shouldn't affect you in any way, shape, or form.
Exactly.
I know this is a serious topic on our podcast for the first time in a very long time, or ever, but we're just saying what it should be said. Let people be who they want to be.
Exactly.
And the world will be a better place.
I will say that there are, and I might get flack for that, there are limitations to letting people who they want to be, where it's coming to the point where people are now, I'm going to try to tread lightly on this, is like they're crying over spilled milk. Okay. Like certain topics, it's not worth complaining about, but they want to make it a huge deal. And like I said, it's not a big deal at all. That's the thing. They're crying over spilled milk.
Yeah.
And hopefully we are looking for a better direction into, I'm going to use the term getting thicker skin, and it shouldn't have to go like that. But at the same time, you kind of need that, because the world is a dark place. It is.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that is our serious topic of today. I mean, we always talk about serious topics, but this deals with life in general and everything like that. So, but good for Carl Nassib of the Raiders. I hope he continues to be a voice for that community and for the NFL and for all sports and for just people in general. So good on him. But we're going to move on to a different sport. Very interesting playoff sport right now. The NBA has been very, very good to watch in the playoffs this year.
It's been really fun.
The first one being the Lakers being knocked off, which was nice. It was great to see it.
It's tough.
The second is seeing Brooklyn getting knocked off. And then the third one is seeing the Hawks go to the conference finals now. And let's not forget about the Suns in 4. So
Suns in 4.
Suns
Suns
in 4
are up 1 on the Clippers
without
and
Chris Paul.
Without Chris Paul, and the Clippers don't have Kawhi Leonard; he's out.
Still,
but they're still good, and we saw the Suns take a game so far, and didn't have CP3.
Nope.
So it's a fun series.
The thing is let's talk about Phoenix. Phoenix is fun to watch because they play as a team. There's no, and I get it. They talk about Devin Booker and Chris Paul, and that's really it. Maybe Crowder every now and then, but if you think about it, those guys are very team-oriented players. Like, they're not selfish players. Yeah. And I will say this though, Trae Young, no offense, I'm not using the word selfish as like they're the only, like they only do that, but Trae Young is a very one-dimensional player, like a very one-dimensional team, if you think about it. Because even though I forget the kid's name that was red hot for Game 7 against Philly for Atlanta, but I kind of forget, but
Kevin Huerter.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he had like 30 something points that game.
Yeah, he scored 27.
27. So, yeah. But if you look at Trae Young's highlights, it's always these deep threes. He's good at them. Don't get me wrong. He's great at them.
He's a good shooter. He's a
good shooter. But sometimes you tend to forget that there's just more than that one-dimensional shooting game. He's a great passer too. Don't get me wrong. He gets the assist in there too. But, I know it's not his forte is to play defense, but he's not a great defensive player.
Okay, I see what you mean by one-dimensional player.
So if you look at like Devin Booker and Chris Paul, they play both ends of the court.
Yes.
They play very much. A lot of
players are labeled as that.
Exactly.
So they play only offense or defense or vice versa. Like it's
good example.
It's just part of the NBA now.
The great example of that is Ben Simmons. He's afraid to shoot the ball.
But he's
great. He's great defensively. He's good. Yeah. He's good. Not Embiid good, but he's good. But Ben Simmons, just really quick, he's out of Philly. I mean, if Philly's smart, get rid of him.
He scored in 35 minutes. 5 points.
Yeah, 5 points.
5 points.
And then nobody's gonna ever forget now that open layup that you could have had, and then you're like, oh, I'm gonna pass it. What are you doing? I don't play basketball very well, but when I do, I prefer layups. Just like Dos Equis. I prefer Dos Equis, but I prefer layups. not a pass. So, but yeah, Ben Simmons gone. Atlanta conference finals against Milwaukee. I think if we're going to talk about the picks, I don't know if you want to talk about the picks right now.
We can talk about the picks a little bit, maybe in a few minutes.
Okay.
I think I want to talk about Atlanta and the fact that, like, what you talked about, like Trae Young, like, he doesn't always have to do it, and that's the best part, I think. Yeah. That team is so it's not stacked, but like they just have so many role players.
Yeah.
Where it's like it can be anyone's night that night. So that night it was Huerter's. Capella scored 13 that night. Collins scored 14. Gallinari came off the bench and scored 17 in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Like they're well-rounded.
It also goes to their coach as well. Because he got there, 3 years ago? I think.
Oh, no.
Ever since he got there, he is like a presence in the locker room to the point where it's like, you know how nowadays we're kind of seeing the trend of like, you know, players are their own coaches kind of thing.
Yeah.
He is actually a coach, like an old school, like what he says is what they do. So I forget his name. I've heard great things about him in the locker room. There's a lot of articles on him.
Nate McMillan.
That's right. That's who it is.
This is his first year in Atlanta, actually.
Oh, it is first year. But if you read the articles about him, it's like he has that presence of no player goes against what he says. The players do what he asks them to do. And you know what? It's paying off. Look, they're in the conference finals. Who would have thought Atlanta would be in the conference finals?
Not me.
Nobody would. And if you made a bet to say that they were going to make the conference finals, and you bet probably $1, you probably just made like $5,000 off of $1.
I'll see if Jonathan's put any bets on the Hawks.
Seriously, like I'm intrigued by that. And if Jacob did too, I mean, he's probably rolling in dough.
Oh, he's reeling right now.
I know.
They're that close to the finals.
Exactly.
They're 7 games away,
But
4.
let's turn to. I don't want to talk about Milwaukee because, yeah, they took off the Nets, but also Milwaukee's a really good team too.
Yeah,
That's
they're really good.
So, but I mean, there's more hype around the Nets because of the big three there and everything like that. And it just goes to show you that they can't. A giant can be beat with a mini giant, I guess you could say.
I think if the big three was, 2 of the 3 were injured. Harden didn't play, Kyrie didn't play. Durant carried that team.
He did.
Harden did play actually. Harden did score 22 points. So they were missing.
KD did have that clutch shot to put them into overtime.
Yeah.
But the thing is when it came to that clutch time and overtime to make that shot for that 3, dude, father time came onto him that game. He was drained. He was drained.
He played 53 minutes.
Exactly. He's drained. And you have to remember this. This is a year off of his injury.
Yeah, he didn't play at all last year.
That's what I'm saying. It's it's a lot, and people will say, oh, he had a whole year off. He should be perfectly healthy. I'm sorry to tell you this. Anything in your legs will take a long time.
An Achilles injury is rough.
Exactly. Your legs are your support. If you don't have support, then you just kind of,
especially in basketball.
Yeah, you're running up and down the court every day. You're taking on gravity with your own weight. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
So Milwaukee, good team, good for Giannis. Hopefully, we'll see what happens. We'll talk about picks in a second, but let's go to the Western Conference. So LA losing the first game to red hot, get it? Red hot like Arizona.
Red hot like the Suns.
The Suns. Like I said, remember when we were on this podcast last week and I kept on telling this guy at work, Phoenix. And you know what he said to me today at work? You're right. Phoenix. Sorry to say it, but I'm gonna do a pick right now. Phoenix in 6.
6?
6.
Okay.
Phoenix in 6.
I don't think the Clippers can pull off those comebacks like in the last 2 rounds. I think they're all out of magic.
You going Phoenix 4?
No, I think they go 5 or 6, but I don't think it goes 7. And I don't think it's, the Clippers have what it takes to come back. They're gassed, I think. Yeah. The last 2 rounds, they came back from being down. Both went to game 7s, and I don't think you can do the 3rd round. I don't think they can do it.
What's funny is the Clippers are in the conference finals, but yet they still don't have the fans.
They have the fans?
They're not fans.
I don't know. I put that in quotes because it's
like Dodger fans.
It's so weird being if someone's like, oh, I'm a Clippers fan. And it's since what?
Since when they were in San Diego.
That where Clippers. I'm okay. They should, I wish they went back to San Diego. I think that'd be really good for them.
Well, but I will say this. Hang on really quick. San Diego just approved of the revamped, now going to be San Diego Arena. It's going to get torn down and just be like this huge stadium.
Really?
Yeah. So the Gulls will be continuing to play there. But it's going to be interesting because this stadium, the schematics and prints of this new place look really big to the point where it could hold a professional team besides minor league.
Okay. So don't know what might happen.
Uh-oh. I don't know what's going to happen, but it's very interesting, and I can't wait because they're already redoing other things in Southern California and everything like that. So I don't know what's happening, but it'll be interesting. But let's talk about picks. We got to talk about picks.
Okay.
So let's do this. We're gonna do a finals pick. Okay. Let's do conference picks. How many games?
Okay.
And then finals picks, how many games?
Bucks in 5, Suns in 6. So Suns and Bucks in the finals. And man, this is really tough because I I'm on the Phoenix side. Like, I know they beat the Lakers and stuff, but like, I like CP3. I like Devin Booker. I don't hate the Suns.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just seems they're hot now, and I'm going on a limb. I'm gonna say Suns in 7 for the finals.
All right. So I'm going Suns in 6. I'm going Bucks. I'm going Bucks in 4. Bucks in 4. They're Atlanta's playing a really good team. That's the thing. Yeah. Philly, I get it. Their record looks good, but that team is a mess.
Yeah.
It's a mess. And I would love to see Atlanta not get swept, but I think they are going to get swept. So I'm going to go Milwaukee in 4, Suns in 6. And I'm going Bucks in 6. Milwaukee gets a title. I think as soon as Giannis tastes that finals, it's going to go over. Oh my God, he's going to go off. Yeah. He's going to go insane. So I would love for, any team between those two. I'm going to love that series because, it's two teams that haven't won it in forever. That's the thing. And
or
they
ever.
both have forever
or ever. They haven't won it ever.
The Suns never won it with Barkley there, huh? They went,
yeah.
But they didn't. And Milwaukee, I don't even know. Have they ever been? It's a good question.
They won. All right. The Bucks have won one league title in 1971, 2 conference titles, 71 and 74.
So they haven't won a championship.
It looks like they won in 71.
I don't even know who was on that roster.
They have 1 championship.
All right. So Phoenix is out of a championship.
So but 50 years ago.
I'm going to go Bucks in 6 for the finals, but it'll be fun to watch. It'll be really fun to watch. Because honestly, if you think about it, you could have thought Milwaukee was going to go to the championship. It's like a good pick to have, but nobody would have saw Phoenix. So it's going to be fun to watch. And if for all you people out there, we would like to know your picks. So always, shoot us a DM or
we'll put a poll
comment, something like it would be nice to hear from you guys what you guys think. So the last thing I want to talk about for the NBA, and I'm going to ask you how you feel about it, is Kemba Walker to the Thunder.
Sucks for Boston. Brad Stevens' first move as a executive in the front office trades Kemba Walker. I think it'd be a good fresh start, get him healthy, and I think it's a win for both sides, but we'll see what happens. But I want Kemba Walker to do well.
I've always been a fan. No offense, but like since I was with Jacob on the Rev and the Bear, I always ranted about Kemba Walker. I always liked his style of play. And when he went to Boston, I thought it was a great thing for him. We saw the first year he was there when he was healthy. He was phenomenal.
Yeah.
I think he made the All-Star team that year.
I think going to a low-level market would be really helpful.
So with OKC's got a good fan base. I will tell you that. Even how bad they are, they're still a great fan base. Even Russell Westbrook, even to this day, after being to Houston and to Washington now, he says OKC is always for him. It's always for him. And, with Kemba going to the Thunder, I mean, the Celtics got Halford and Brown, who Halford is a pretty decent player, who's owed quite a bit of money, but so is Kemba Walker. So it's like an even trade. But if OKC can get a healthy Kemba Walker, they definitely won the end of that books if he can stay healthy. Yeah. And it'll be interesting to see because they have him there for 2 years and they have all these first-round picks. And what are they going to give him? That's the thing, because now he is like that centerpiece, that veteran centerpiece that you need. And it's going to be really interesting to see what OKC drafts.
Yeah, to build around all those guys they have and him now.
Like
I think,
I give it 2 years. I give it 2 years. OKC will be back.
yeah, I maybe sooner. I mean, they were in it last year, but that was with CP3. Um, so maybe, yeah, I give it another year or two. Yeah, I'll agree. 2 years.
2 years. Nobody expected though getting CP3 and making playoffs like that. Steven Adams was on a rant that year. I mean, right there.
Yeah.
Steven Adams.
Steven Adams.
And I miss Steven Adams in OKC. He didn't play every day in New Orleans, but he was still he's a good guy to have on your team. He's a guy that has your back, and when he comes off the bench, he plays.
Yeah.
So I really like him. And then there's one more thing I want to talk about. I like LaMelo Ball. I like him. Okay.
You picked him for Rookie of the Year, and he got it.
I did, and he got it. But was it deserved after an injury?
Well, I mean,
and people say it's because look at the competition. There wasn't really that much to pick from. But my thing is when he plays, he plays. He balls out.
Yeah.
You get it? He balls out.
LaMelo balls out.
But he was hurt for a very long time.
Yeah, I don't know. It's tough. It's like Zion, I don't know if Zion won Rookie of the Year last year, but
he did.
He did. So, but if you think about it, I don't think he played the whole season.
He didn't. And now the thing is his family is upset of how New Orleans surrounded players around him. And I'm just like
this. There's good players around him.
There's good players there, and they're doing it on a low market budget.
Yeah. But also you need to think about it. You talk about one-dimensional players. Zion's a one-dimensional player.
I'm going to actually disagree with that. He plays both ends of that court. He does.
He plays the paint on both sides.
But that's his
defense.
But that's the thing. That's his position, though.
Yeah.
When I say they play both ends of the court, whatever their position is, they play both ends of that position.
Oh, okay.
But not like, he could shoot a 3 and a 2. Zion, we all knew he was going to play the paint. But he plays it defensively and offensively.
Do you think he ever wins Defensive Player of the Year?
Exactly.
Do you think he ever wins?
If he can stay healthy, I don't see why not. He does get the blocks.
It might be a little bit.
But Rudy Gobert, man, he's got that thing locked down for a while.
Yeah.
And even the Joker could even win a Defensive Player of the Year, honestly.
He won MVP.
I definitely think that's the right call for MVP this year.
It sucks that they got knocked out.
But people say like Embiid got robbed. And it's close because Embiid carried the Sixers really well.
I can see why they're upset.
My thing is Jokic put up the points, put up the numbers. Those were MVP numbers. Those were. Luka Doncic was pretty close too.
And you got to think the Mavs went from not making the playoffs to I forgot what seed they were, but
they need to get rid of Porzingis though. They need to ship him off.
Carlisle stepped down as head coach, and he was honestly, I want to say, the longest tenured head coach in the NBA currently. Someone might have to fact check me on that, but
guess who's going to be the coach though?
Who?
Dirk's coming back.
Dirk's in a front office role. He's not the coach.
Let him coach.
I could see Jason Kidd going there.
I don't want it. No. It would be crazy to think this, and I don't know if it'll ever happen, but Tim Duncan could coach there. He could leave San Antonio.
Maybe. I could see him.
That's Mr. Fun. That's Mr. Fundamental, dude.
Yeah. I can see him being I forgot the term, but the next Pop, Pop's replacement's gonna be Tim Duncan.
That's what they're going
passing
for.
Of the torch.
Yeah.
What they're going for. Speaking of head coaches, though, and someone who was on the Spurs, Becky Hammon is one of the finalists for the Trailblazers head coaching job.
I like it. I like that.
I think it's a good fit, and I think that's a huge step in the right direction for sports and basketball.
Most
is
definitely.
having a woman head coach, and I think having a coach like that is really gonna like bring the players together on that team, and like I think Damian Lillard's gonna like that pick, and I think they're gonna mesh really well,
Yeah.
and hopefully make that next step to at least get close to seeing some sort of finals. Yeah.
Finals. It's Dame time.
What time is it? Dame time is
it's Dame.
me
It's Dame time.
watching the
time.
rest of the season from my couch. Ooh.
Hey, all right. That's enough of NBA. That's enough. You know, you heard our picks. Milwaukee, Phoenix, finals. Prove us wrong in the conference finals. Let's see what happens. Bring us a bucket here and there. And let's go on into the NHL.
Hockey.
NHL hockey. NHL sports. ESPN. Okay. EA Sports. It's in the game. NHL hits. 98. We all know everything. Playoffs are fun to watch in the NHL.
Yeah.
Just like basketball.
Both series are tied.
Conference finals right now going on. Golden Knights, Montreal in the Western. They're tied 2-2 in their series. Tampa Bay and New York Islanders, not Rangers. We got to think of the better team.
Yeah.
They're both tied. They're actually playing right now. Tampa Bay was winning 1-0.
It is end of first, 3-0. Tampa.
So Tampa Bay is going to probably go up 3-2. With that being said, let me talk about Kucherov, who is a winger for the Lightning. If you don't know what a winger is, it's basically like if you had in soccer, you know, like you have your two guys on the side and then you have your center and all that stuff. That's where he plays. He's putting up playoff record numbers and points. He's got 24 points, and it's not even the end of the series. And he's got 24 points altogether in playoffs. That's like almost Wayne Gretzky status. I mean, he's the GOAT, but Kucherov is phenomenal. And Tampa Bay, what they did last year, they won it all, right? They kept the whole roster and were just like, let's just add more to it. Basically, Tampa Bay Buccaneers did the same thing. And now Tampa Bay Lightning are doing a thing. Tampa Bay Rays just got swept by the Mariners. But Tampa Bay is a city to be in right now.
Yeah. Tampa Bay, the Rays at the time had the best record in the American League. But, you know, that's title town right now.
It is.
It was so close to being like the trifecta title town, but you know how that played out.
But let me. I know you don't watch hockey religiously. Like I watch hockey more than you do. And,
yeah.
But let me ask you this, okay? From a fan that doesn't know a lot about hockey, but enjoys the sport, enjoys the sport, you know, respects the sport. It's not a bandwagon. You're a Ducks fan, even how bad they suck.
You know what? That's a local team, and I like the Ducks. I just like I don't hate a team. Like if I were to hate a team, I think it'd be the Kings. But like I don't
sounds like
hate
a Ducks fan.
I don't. Yeah, but I don't like hate.
If you had to say this, you're probably a Goals fan more than anything.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I don't. It's tough. I think I'm just a fan of just hockey in general, and just
it's fun.
If it's fun, and there's no players I hate, there's no teams I hate. I'm just a casual fan who, if I get the chance to go to a game like in person, like it's really fun. And I don't like if it's the Ducks playing someone, I hope the Ducks win. But if they lose, I won't be upset. Like
let me ask you this, okay? So we can probably 99% say that Lightning are going to win tonight. They're going to go up 3-2 over New York. Who do you have winning that series?
Tampa.
You have Tampa going back to the Cup.
Yeah.
Okay. Montreal and Golden Knights, 2-2. Very evenly matched teams. Both have great goaltending. Both have great defensive men. Both have great offensive. A lot of these games that they've played have gone into overtime. So it's very even throughout the series. Who do you have?
It's tough because, you know, Montreal got hot at the right time for the playoffs because if you look at their record, like I talked to you about earlier, they're 24-21-11. Vegas is 40-14-2. Like 24-21 is like not a great record. It's above 500, but it's not great. Mm-hmm. So seeing how they're in the semifinals to go to the Cup, like that's pretty good of them. And they're facing a tough team with Vegas. They're tied 2-2. but I think I'm going to lean towards Vegas more, and they're going to take the series.
So you're saying Vegas, where they've been around now? 4 years? Is this their 4th year or 3rd year? I think it's their
it's their
3rd.
17 was their first year, I think.
Basically, they're going to – half of their time is going to be in playoffs each season since they've been a team, which is crazy. So you're saying Golden Knights and Lightning.
Yeah.
What do you got after that?
So who wins? I think Vegas takes their first cup.
Really? Oh, man. Okay. We're going to – oh, no. Okay. I agree with Golden Knights going. I like it. But if Price gets hot from Montreal as goaltending-wise, and he's been pretty good, if he gets really good in these last few games, Montreal will take that series. I will almost 100% guarantee that. But I think the Golden Knights just have that, they've been here, done that kind of thing, and they're young, but they've been there lots of times already. So Lightning, Golden Knights, I agree. Lightning are way too good for the Golden Knights. Way too good.
Yeah.
And the thing is the Islanders, who are playing the Lightning right now, are a good team as well. I think the Islanders are better than Montreal. So for Montreal to be tied with the Golden Knights is actually pretty impressive. And that is why I'm leaning towards Lightning kind of just almost mopping the floor. I'm going to say 5 games in the cup. Not a complete sweep, but they get it done. They get it. They go back to back. So
okay,
we'll see. But then, as requested, we don't really talk about this much.
Don't talk about soccer because we know nothing.
We don't know a lot about soccer, but we're going to talk about soccer, and I'm going to bring up. Well, let's bring up the the qualifiers for the European kind of FIFA going on there. Okay. I have watched soccer because ESPN's been playing a lot of soccer, and I will say this: Denmark is scary good. I don't watch a lot of soccer, but the way that they've played and the goal differences, like how much they've had in goals in for, they're very scary, and they're undefeated.
They beat Russia 4-1 today,
and it like 4-1. That's a lot.
That's a lot for soccer. Yeah, because we're looking at 1-0 Austria over Ukraine, 2-0 Belgium over Finland. Like it's not crazy. It's always 1-0 or 2-1.
But another team that looks good too is England. England looks good. They're in a tougher pool. But Denmark, if you're into sports betting and let's say you're into like FIFA, maybe you put a little side bet on Denmark there. Who knows? 12 goals difference. That's a 12 goal difference in 3 games. 3 games.
That's crazy.
That's a lot.
Who have they played though? Have they played like good teams though?
They've played.
Like, is Russia really good?
I don't know. That's the thing. I don't watch soccer very much, so I can't really say.
From what history tells us, Russia's not that great.
In soccer and hockey, yes, phenomenal.
In hockey, yeah.
But my thing is like if I'm like how you were looking at the NHL, and I'm looking at soccer, I'm looking at these statistics that are out there, and I can understand what they mean.
Yeah.
Denmark looks like a scary team to me.
Yeah.
And you have to remember this too. These are the best of the best in the country, in their country. It's not like, oh, this team has more money to spend, they can get this. Yeah. No, these are national players. And if Denmark has that many good national players, besides like, Portugal probably it's great because they have Cristiano Ronaldo, and what's that one player that plays for England? He's been there forever.
I don't know.
I forget his name. I know there's. It's going to bug me too because I've seen his face so many times. And then like Argentina has Messi and everything like that. So it's like Denmark's. I don't know who they got, but they sound really good to me on paper.
Yeah, I could tell you this. This is just me being a little biased, but Italy's doing extremely well. Italy has not allowed a goal.
Really?
At all.
Okay, so you're hearing it from us, folks. If you don't watch soccer, and if you do watch soccer, you can tell us right now, like, that's wrong. This is what I think and everything like that, and we will take it because we need help in this sport, learning it a little bit better. But if you're an outside looking in too, you can be in our shoes and be like, maybe they're putting up some good pointers here and everything like that. Who knows? Who knows?
Knows.
We'll see.
We're new to this. We're new to soccer.
I do like to watch FIFA though, like the World Cup.
Yeah.
I do like to watch that. That's really fun to watch.
It's it's like America in the world. I'm a soccer fan every 4 years.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if we can even make a presence or a qualification.
Oh, our country? Oh,
yeah. No.
Women's, yes. Men's,
yeah, women's soccer, phenomenal. Just like women's softball. Maybe not. I mean, men's baseball finally won one in the World Baseball Classic, but softball women's for USA.
Hey, speaking of softball though, OU
won it all. I mean, and you know what's crazy is they lost that first game in the tournament, and they just they're like, oh, we got to wake up. We're the number one country in the world.
We don't lose games.
We need to sweep. So they swept, and good for them. That's I think they're second title in the last 4 years. Something like that.
They're good.
Last but not least, we're gonna give you a little taste, a little sample. Like one of those little, hey, welcome to Costco. You want a cheese ball? You want to try one of these? We're gonna
cheese balls.
I don't know, like the little.
You want a cheese ball?
You want a cube cheese?
We have this very nice Gouda in a cube that you can have.
We're gonna give you a little taste sample here of what's to come on the next episode. You know how me and Brian love baseball.
Love it.
We were guests on a oh my gosh, I can't even think of it. A baseball podcast, basically.
Baseball podcast. It's articles online. It's baseball roundtables, basically, on YouTube. If you want to, I'm gonna give them a shout out right now, just so I don't forget. Top Fan Rivalry. Look them up on Instagram. Look them up on Facebook, YouTube, and their website, topfanrivalry.com. You'll find our video there, plus tons of other videos that they've done, and a lot of articles that they have written about Southern California sports, but also just baseball in general. Yeah. It's a very good website. Definitely,
they're very cool too.
Yeah,
they're very cool,
very welcoming, very cool. Like it was really fun last week. So give it a watch.
Give it a watch. But we're gonna give you a little taste of what we have in store for you next week. So we're kind of giving you a spoiler here of saying the next podcast. Sorry, folks, we'll add a little bit of other sports, but it's going to be mainly a baseball topic podcast. It won't always be like that, but for this one, we're going to kind of make an exception.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you get three choices. You get three choices here. Trade them or keep them. That's all you get. Okay. I'm going to give you three players because trade deadline's coming up. All right. And it's going to be interesting. First one that I have for you. Are you ready?
Yeah, go for it.
It's near and dear to my heart. Mitch Haniger of the Seattle Mariners. Trade him or keep him?
Keep him.
Keep him. Okay. All right. So we're looking good there. Your second one, Sonny Gray, pitcher
Trade
for
him.
the Reds.
Gone. See ya.
Okay. All right. Last but not least, this one's going to be a little iffy here. Okay. A little iffy. I don't think a lot of people are going to agree with me with this one, but we'll see. Tommy Pham, keep him or trade him?
Ooh. Tommy Pham, that's tough. I think a better fit would have been Myers, but
Myers is swinging a hotter bat than Tommy Pham is.
Have you seen Tommy Pham's June?
Tommy Pham in June, but I'm saying collectively overall, like the past two seasons, Will Myers has been
last year. Yeah, Pham was hurt last year. You have to think about that.
But if you think about this though, Pham's contract is more friendly than Will Myers.
Yeah. Keep him.
You're gonna keep him. Okay. All right. Those are my three to ask you. Do you have a three in mind?
All right. Let's go down to Texas and Kyle Gibson. Trade or keep him?
Surprisingly, he's not bad, but he's not good.
He's got a 2.09 ERA.
But the thing is like, I feel like if you switched him into another place right now, he wouldn't be as good. Like we all saw how average he was in Minnesota. Like he was just that reliable innings eater guy. And he's been like that for Texas a little bit, not as well, of course, but this year he's doing better than what I think any year he's had in Minnesota, honestly, too.
Yeah.
But he still has 2 more years or 1 more year on his contract after that. I think he signed like
one.
a 4-year deal, right? Something like that.
2. So I think he has 1 more year.
If I'm Texas, I need to trade him, because if this is the best year you're going to get out of him and you need to like start filling your clubhouse with some good prospects or players, this is the time to do it.
Yeah.
So I go trade him. I trade him.
Let's go to the worst team in baseball, the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Oh, poor guys.
Ketel Marte.
Oh, dude, I knew this one. And if I'm telling you this, Arizona needs just to clean everything out. Clean it all out. The team can hit. That's the thing. The team can hit.
They can't pitch.
They can't pitch. They can't. I don't know what it is. They just can't pitch. But the thing is, like, if I'm Arizona and I have these good, like, Arizona's roster is good. It's not bad.
When healthy,
it's good. Pitching wise, no. Mad Bum, not even. I don't even consider.
Zach Gallen's probably the
only thing
shining.
That's it. But the thing is like,
that.
If I am Arizona, I need, like, if I have this roster and we still can't win, I need to get it all out. Get it out of here. Like, no offense to the players, but this can't happen. It's kind of sad.
Yeah.
Of how they're playing.
Yeah. It's rough. It's rough.
But my thing is Ketel Marte, you can get a lot out of that.
Yeah. He's got a really friendly contract. He's good. He's a switch hitter. He can play center. He can play the infield.
Plays anywhere.
I mean, I think the Yankees need help.
I think so. Here's the thing: with Arizona can get back from one player like Ketel Marte like that, they can easily get 2 top 50 prospects, and then maybe some bullpen veteran pieces. Maybe 2. I would say 3 to 4 players for 1 player. I can see that.
Yeah.
With Ketel Marte's caliber. Now, if you said like David Peralta or anything like that from Arizona, maybe you can get a good prospect, maybe at the bottom end of the top 100 kind of thing. But that's about it.
I could see either of those guys going to the Yankees or the Brewers.
I see Ketel Marte going more to the Yankees, if anything.
Yeah.
I could also, crazy analogy here, just gonna say it, I can see him going to San Fran.
Yeah?
I can see it.
The thing is, the Giants do not have the prospects to give.
I know, but like if they entice them with like Giants have a good bullpen.
Yeah.
They have a good bullpen. And they can throw that out there, and maybe like a good player that they have, sorry to say it, but maybe you give up Yastrzemski. Here's the thing. I know Yastrzemski is great for San Fran, but he's old, man. Who knows how much but you have to think about this though. Like, okay, he came up 2 years ago? He came up when he was 20.
Yeah, he came up when he was older.
But here's my thing. I would rather trade a 30-year-old Yastrzemski. I get it. His contract is
for a 25-year-old Marte.
Yeah, for 25-year-old Marte, and I give up some bullpen pieces to get a player that can play everywhere.
However old Ketel Marte is.
I think he's 27 or 28.
Okay. So he's way off from 25.
No. He's not 25. I think he's 27, 28. Because when the Mariners got him, he was like barely 20. And I'm not going to even this is a bad name to say in baseball right now, but Robinson Cano said that kid's going to be something special.
Yeah. He's 27.
He's 27.
He's in 357 this year.
And he's a switcher. And he plays everywhere.
Yeah.
So, Ketel Marte, trade him. All right, what's your last one?
Last one, man. I think I'm going to go back to Cincy. It's all pitchers, except Ketel, but Luis Castillo
had a bad outing against the Padres.
Has had a bad year.
Yeah. But his contract, he's getting MLB minimum. And And I think he's on arbitration for the next like 3 years or something like that.
Yeah.
If I'm Cincinnati, I'd say keep him. You got to keep something there and something that's contract friendly. Like Sonny Gray is a good player, but he's got a lot of money. You know, you're paying MLB minimum to Luis Castillo. You got to keep something there. You got to keep some hope. You know, Arizona, you can get rid of all that though. That's gone.
So I think the 3 teams that are going to sell are Diamondbacks, probably the Pirates, and what was that third team? Oh,
I have one player for
Twins.
You. I have one player for you. Who do you think where he goes though? Trevor Story.
I don't think he gets traded.
Oh, and that's where we're going to end it here, folks. Okay, so like we always say, message us, email us, do whatever you can to keep in contact with us. And then like we always tell you guys, be kind, be generous, be respectful. You know, we're getting back to normalcy with COVID and everything like that. So, you know, if places require you to still wear a mask, respect that that's their guidelines. They want you to just keep you safe more, but don't be that butthead that says, well, CDC said this. I get it. CDC said that. But, you know, it doesn't hurt to wear a mask. You did it for a year. What's maybe 30 minutes or to an hour of wearing it one more time?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's touchy subject, but you do you. I don't know.
You do you.
But it's, you know, wear it if you don't want to. It's tough, but I think it's just more the consideration for others. So I know I'm double vaxxed, but I still wear it. So
but like we always said, we're open to anything you guys want to talk about. Always let us know. We appreciate you guys always listening, voting on our Instagram posts and everything like that. So we appreciate all the voices you have for us too. So I hope you guys have a great week. We'll see you next time. You already got a little taste of what's to come on the next episode.
Yeah.
So sorry to all you guys out there that are not baseball fans. You know, it's only one time, and it's me and Brian's real like down passion to any sport.
Yeah, we'll talk. Let's do a little like spoiler. We gave you a little taste of the trades, but I think we're gonna go into like maybe all-star snubs.
Exactly.
Because by the time we record, I think it's going to be the finalized roster. We'll see what happens.
We'll definitely see. So, Brian, any final words?
You did everything. You said everything I wanted to say. So this will probably come out on Tuesday. So have a good week. Have a good day, whatever day you're listening on. And we'll see you guys next time.
All right, guys. See ya.